it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and today I'm here to share the next row in our Harbor Row Quilt Along. We are going to be talking about the star blocks today and all of the little tips and tricks to make it. They are adorable, but they are also a little bit small, and so I've got some good tips and tricks to share with you. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the star block today. And I love this block. It's so tiny and so cute. In my quilt, I did use different low volumes, you'll notice, for the different centers. I kind of alternated them between the low volume prints and Raspberry Summer. And I also just tried to, keep the fabrics to where two of the same exact shade weren't right next to each other. So like I felt like it was okay to have a light green and a dark green, but I tried not to have any, these greens are kind of diagonal, but I did try to keep it, pink and orange and red and navy. And so I did make my blocks, and then I did kind of take some time to lay it out for my row before I put it together. There are a few other options here that would make it easier for you. You could make these stars all one color. So just do all different reds, all different greens, or even the same red and the same green. Navy, pink, yellow, orange. You definitely have some options if you don't want to do them as scrappy as I have them. Let me show you how the block lays out first. And I'm going to actually put this here. Maybe this will show up a little better. So you're going to be making flying geese units. You're going to have some squares. Okay, so you can see how you're going to have to be intentional when you make these flying geese units. And then the center is just an easy corner triangle. This was actually a square of the background, and then I used the mini simple folded corners ruler to just add all of these sections. So you can actually, I know I talk about it all the time, but if you're new, you might want to check out that video on how to use that ruler, because it makes it to where it goes together just like this, and none of those points are going to get cut off. So that is the center of the block. And it does. Everything kind of has to line up, so you do have to take a little bit of time to make sure that you're getting all of the pieces in the right place. I actually just usually make this block first, and then I just lay out all the squares that I'm going to need for my flying geese. And it might help if you take a picture of it with your camera, but then I started just making my flying geese units. Now, these are small. If you're really worried, you might want to use the block lock for the flying geese. If you do that, you'll have to increase the size of your pieces from what is in the pattern. The pattern is written to make these units just the traditional way. So if you are going to use a block lock or something like that, the Creative Grids Flying Geese tool, you will need to not follow the cutting instructions in the pattern. But anyway, it goes together super cute. I'm just going to show you how I pressed it. I did press all of the seams. Like this seam was pressed open, and then the top and bottom seam was also pressed open. And one of the reasons for doing that is that it makes it easier to put them together in a row. You can, if the seams are pressed open, they're going to be easier to join to the next block and not as bulky. So I did go ahead and press it like that. But these are just really fun blocks. And again, as I mentioned, you do have a lot of options. If you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself, you could do just one color. That way you wouldn't have to worry about your flying geese being so particular. But again, it's also really fun when you get these put together and you've gone to take the time to arrange all the colors. It's really satisfying to get that final block. So anyway, I hope you enjoy making these little star blocks. And next month we will be making the final block in our quilt. We will be making the 5 sun blocks, and I did have you set aside those larger squares for that at the very beginning of our sew along, and we will be talking all things suns next month. Okay, so that's it for our little tiny star blocks. I hope you will have fun making these. I think they're just adorable and a lot of fun to make. When I made my mini, I had to put one of the stars in the mini, you know, front and center, and a whole row of scrappy stars is going to be just adorable in your quilt, and hope you enjoy making them. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.